Hello everybody, welcome back to the workshop. So in this video, I am going to be doing a lot of comparison testing between 4 separate anvils that I have on hand. The one anvil that I have on hand is the 66 Pound Hio Anvil that you can purchase on eBay or Amazon. The affiliate links for that anvil will be down in the description down below. That's a cast steel anvil. It's a fairly cheap option for the beginner, and I think that it's a great deal if you can't tell. So I'm a little biased towards that anvil, but that's the very first anvil on the list. I also have the 55 pound pro grade anvil. That is a cast iron anvil that you can purchase and you can pick up online. Again, I'll put the links to all these anvils except for the one at the very end down in the description down below. So, you can check them out. You can read up on the manufacturer and stuff like that. But I've got a 55 pound pro grade. The next one is a 55 pound Harbor Freight, the bane of blacksmith's existence everywhere, right? Well, I've got that one up there. And I also have a 99 pound Colonial Anvil. Now this is an anvil that I bought at a scrapyard, and as close to what I can understand is the pattern is a colonial pattern. It's a very simply shaped deal, but it's a wrought iron anvil with a steel top. But so it's definitely ringing in as a heavyweight anvil, but I figured that it would be an interesting comparison nonetheless, both in what you get with an increase in mass of anvil and relative to the hardness of the anvil and so on and so forth. And again, it's an old anvil. It's a wrought iron body with a steel face welded in. So let's get right into what I did here. So I did a sampling of each. I did 10 rebound drops. I made up a rig for it, and I did 10 individual drops of rebound. I will put all of this footage, by the way, in its unedited format at the end of this video. So if you want to watch them all throughout, like the whole thing, all 10 drops, and maybe you can catch something I didn't, again, stick around to the end of the video. Until then, I will be overlaying them as B-roll onto the video. But I did 10 drops, and then I averaged out what those came out to be, and double-checked math with my wife because, she's smarter than me and all of that good stuff, but went over the figures a couple times just to make sure that the numbers that I was seeing was correct here. Now, I'll put out one little disclaimer and caveat. If you buy any of these anvils, except for the 99 pound Colonial, unless that's on your target march there, your results may vary because I don't know how tightly any of these manufacturers, and some of them are definitely irreputable. Harbor Freight. Anyways, we don't know how hard their quality control is going to be on these. So again, your results may vary, but I do highly encourage you to test them. So we'll start off with the 66 pound Hio Anvil that you can get there. We did a sample size of 10. We had a high rebound. The rebound, the highest that it rebound was 14 inches. The lowest that it rebound was 11.5 inches. Now I should state at this point in time that the pipe that I am using, it's an acrylic tube with a 2-foot long length of tape measure stuck in it, adjusted for the drop pin height. So that measurement is at the bottom. That's what it would clear. So from the bottom of the ball bearing when it's dropped is at that 24-inch mark to where it comes back up to, it's measured at the bottom of the ball bearing. Obviously the top of it goes higher, but I measured from the bottom of the ball bearing. The average rebound height came out to 12 5/8 of an inch. So 12 5/8 of an inch is what it came out to. The high to low rebound percentage was, again, at the high end we had 58% rebound. At the low end we had 48% rebound. I will also be putting up a little check mark, a little list that you guys can look at and do that. I'll put that towards somewhere in this video. The average rebound percentage that we had And so this is the average rebound came out to 52%, and that is on the Hio Anvil. Moving on to the pro grade anvil, the 55-pound pro grade anvil. Again, a sampling size of 10 individual ball bearing drop tests through my apparatus that I made. We had a high to low rebound. We had a high rebound of 11.5 inches. That was at the max. And then we had a low rebound of 7.5 inches. As you can see, it ranged wildly on the wrought iron or on the pro grade 55-pound. That's the cast iron anvil. And I'm not really sure the reason for that. You know, with the drops, that they seem to get more. I'm thinking the surface might have been compressing a little bit and maybe getting a slight bit tougher, and so therefore it was sending the ball bearing a bit more, but as we dropped it, I had higher and higher rebound bounces. So I'm assuming that's what it is, but that's where we were at. Our average rebound came in at 9 3/8 of an inch. Our high to low rebound percentage, we had 48% rebound at the high end. We had 31% rebound at the low end of this 55-pound pro grade anvil. And then the average rebound percentage was 39%, or just a shy under 40%. So there you go. So it was about 39% on the 55-pound pro grade. Moving on, let's do the Harbor Freight. The 55-pound Harbor Freight anvil, sample size of 10. We came in with a high to low rebound of 9.5 inches to 6.5 inches. The average rebound came in at 7 7/8 of an inch. That's how far it came back up, that 24-inch pipe. A high to low rebound percentage of 40% to 27%. And then the average rebound percentage of 33%. And again, that is for the 55-pound Harbor Freight anvil. Lastly, but not least, I ended up screwing up. I ended up not getting a full 10 drops, so we just averaged on 9 drops instead. We have my 99-pound Colonial Anvil. Again, this is an old anvil. If you added up the age of all of these anvils combined, they wouldn't even be but a wee baby to this anvil. So we had a high rebound to low rebound of 16.5 inches at the highest end to 13.5 inches at the lowest end. The average rebound was 15 inches. The high to low rebound percentage was 69% at the highest to 56% at the lowest. And then the average rebound percentage was 63% according to my maths and all of that good stuff. So there you are. That's kind of what I've got. Again, I will put up all these results right here on screen so you guys can check that out and you can read through them and look at the sheet, you know, side by side the way that I have done it here. And there's one last metric all the way down at the bottom that I would like you to take a look at, and that is the hardness of each one of these anvils. And it kind of is starting to illustrate, and I'm hoping that you'll get this, that hardness or rebound is going to be dependent on a lot of various conditions and variables, not just whether an anvil is good or not. You can't necessarily judge a book by its cover. Again, what are you mounting it to? That's going to play an effect. All these were shot on the same exact length and width and dimension of wood block. So they're all the same. It's the same lumber I used in the Hio stand build. It's the same lumber that I've used in, you know, for making the stand for all these testing. The one big difference is none of these anvils were bolted down except for the Hio anvil. So keep that in mind. Depending on where you're at, if you're in the dirt outside, it's going to affect these rebound results. If you're on concrete, it's going to affect it. If you make a concrete stand, a metal stand filled with sand, a metal stand without sand, all these things are going to affect the transmission of energy into the workpiece and that coming back up through the hammer. Ideally, you would like all of your work, all of your energy to be put into the piece and very little of it coming back to you. You want to get as much work done into the piece, not necessarily be getting all this rebound back up here because the piece is probably too cold at that point that you're working on. So at the very bottom of this list, I'll start from the left to the right. We have the 66-pound Hio Anvil that had tested, and I've tested this in multiple videos. This is all going in part of a playlist series as part of the Year of the Anvil. So make sure you check out that playlist. The link to that will be in the description. The hardness that tested out at was 50 to 55 Rockwell. So I'm placing it somewhere around 52 or so. That is a guess. I only have hardness files that go down that are a range, 50 to 55. They don't have 52, 53, 54, 51. They don't have any of that, so it's a range. The pro grade, 55-pound pro grade, it tested below 40 Rockwell. That's where the kit, the little Subasan hardness testing kit, that's where it bottoms out at. The Harbor Freight, again, hardness below 40 Rockwell C, so I don't know exactly how hard those are. If I can get another kit in that goes lower than that or is working on a different scale, or maybe when I get the Lieb hardness tester in to the shop, I will retest those because I can do multiple scales at that point in time. And then finally, the Colonial Anvil. And now this is where I want you to kind of pay attention to what's going on here because I find it very interesting. The Colonial Anvil, when I just tested the hardness of the surface of its top, I got between 45 and 50 Rockwell. So that could be a whole range of about 10 Rockwell C difference between the Hio and then this Colonial Anvil. So the Colonial Anvil is softer, and it's just marginally, it's better, obviously. It's clearly better than the cast iron, but it's softer than the Hio, yet it had a higher rebound. So why did it have a higher rebound? It would be my guess that it's because of the mass of the anvil and the way that mass is distributed under the hammer blows. So that's really going to affect it as well. If I get a 100-pound Hio in and I take my Colonial Anvil and I test the results next side one another, that would be a better comparison test. But again, this kind of helps to illustrate that a little bit, that hardness is not everything. It is the entire characteristics of an anvil that actually matter. So feel free to continue to watch the video. I'm going to put the unedited segments where I dropped the ball bearing multiple times. You guys can come up with the math yourself. You can count if you feel like. Do your own calculations. Post your results in the comment section down below. I would love to take and hear them. And then also, if you've seen this little testing rig, again, I challenge you to go out to your own shop with whatever your anvil is and then comparison test your own things and come up with your own numbers as well. I would be certainly open and interested in hearing the results of what your anvil rebounds at, and get those measurements and then get the hardness as well. Again, all the tools that I mentioned, I will put the affiliate links down in the description down below. They do go to help the channel at no additional cost to you if you do purchase through any of those links, but nonetheless you can go read up on the manufacturer and it's there as a resource. So if you think I didn't cover something in this video, go ahead and let me know down in the comment section as well. And yeah, that's going to be basically it. I'll get out of here. God bless each and every last one of you. Thank you for watching, and we'll catch you on the next one.